Hello, gorgeous, beautiful YouTubers. How are you today? I'm Jackie Lane from peachyhealth.co.uk and today I'm going to talk about periods. In the Western culture, periods seem to be something that we don't really like to talk about that much, and we try to suppress our periods and resist our periods and pretend that they don't exist. So you try to stuff yourself with tampons, so to pretend you're not bleeding. Pump yourself up with painkillers to try and suppress the pains and to pretend it's not happening so you can still go to work and live your busy lives. You give in to the sweet cravings and eat loads of chocolate and do things that aren't very good for yourself when normally when you've got your period you get sweet cravings, things like that. And more often than not, this is when you indulge in those things and afterwards feel really icky. And we don't really allow ourselves to rest or to nourish ourselves or even be that nice to ourselves about our periods. We certainly try to avoid conversations about periods to men because we don't feel like they really understand what we're going through. So often around this time of the month there can be arguments within relationships, and we curse the fact and resent the fact that we may feel a bit sensitive or moody or whatever it is that you're feeling when you get your period. More often than not in the Western world we resent that, so we try to suppress it and we will do things that aren't that good for us in order to get through it. And we don't talk about it and we don't give anything back to ourselves. And in Ayurvedic tradition, which is Indian medicine, I learnt at college, and one of my friends who is a yoga teacher, Claire Waldron, she's actually got a YouTube channel as well if you want to check her out. I learnt at college and she told me that in Ayurvedic tradition, a woman that is on her period or about to come on her period is literally treated like a goddess. I mean, how does that sound? It sounds amazing. She's taken to a chamber where she is massaged with oils and she is prepared to have her period, and she is allowed to relax and indulge and receive at that time of the month. And this is just unheard of in Western culture and in our day and age. You know, the thought of every time you're about to get your period, you get taken to a lovely lush room and you get pampered and you're allowed to have your period in peace, and there's no expectations and no one demanding anything of you, and there's other women around that are understanding and appreciate what you're going through. That to me sounds like heaven, heaven. What happened to me about 4 or 5 years ago, I came off of the oral contraceptive pill. And since then, I have had really bad hormonal issues. I was getting extreme PMS, I was getting blood clots, I was getting all sorts of issues. I started getting endometriosis type symptoms, and last year, at the beginning of last year until the end of the summer last year, I managed to actually combat all these symptoms with herbs and by drinking kefir. And since then, I've been less disciplined with the herbs and kefir, and some of my symptoms have come back. And I was thinking, oh, does this mean I'm going to have to rely and be dependent on herbs and kefir for the rest of my days having my period? And part of me was resistant to that idea and resentful of that idea. I was thinking, oh, why should I have to do that? Why this? Why, poor me, is what I was thinking. And I realised, literally today, I realised something. That's not a very nice way of thinking about this at all. That's not a very respectful, caring, considerate way for me to think about my period or my body. And I realised I need to sort this out, because at the end of the day, I am female, and I am blessed being female, because there's just so many amazing things about being female, and I should respect my body and listen to my body. So what I've decided to do is, rather than thinking, oh God, here we go again, and oh no, I have to take this, I have to do that, I've decided to embrace my period. And every month I am going to really be nice to myself and indulge and relax. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to do any exercise or anything, like gentle exercise, but I'm going to chill out. And I'm not going to put pressure on myself to make any rash decisions, any business decisions, or have any confrontations or anything that involves me having my thinking cap on, because it doesn't work when I'm coming up to my period. Literally, on a biochemical level, the levels in your chemical levels in your brain change when you are going to have your period and when you're on your period. So it's a physical thing, and some people suffer a lot more than others. And I have found that women who have been on the pill for a very long time and that have come off it tend to be the ones that suffer a lot with PMS type symptoms, and it can take years to rebalance the hormone system after being on the oral contraceptive pill. I'm not saying the oral contraceptive pill is all bad, but I do think, for me personally, I could have come off of it a lot earlier, and I would have benefited coming off of it a lot earlier, because I was on that pill for a very, very long time, and I do think it has had some serious impact to my health and my hormone balances. So I just wanted to discuss this because I feel like there's so many women out there that don't respect their bodies and don't listen to their bodies, and they feel that everything else comes first. Family, friends, work, food, shopping, hoovering, whatever. Maybe you don't have a partner that's very supportive. I don't know, but what I'm trying to suggest is that rather than trying to suppress all these things, rather than trying to suppress being female, why not try to embrace being female and embrace your period as something to indulge with, something to give you permission to relax and be looked after and receive, because as women, that's what we do best. We receive. So around this time of the month, that is the best time to be in receiving mode. Let other people do things for you. And I don't know, maybe ask this of your other half or people around you, and let people know that start talking about it a bit more and start sharing your experience, and let people know that you're coming up to your period or you're on your period. And I'm hoping that one day this isn't going to be such a taboo, and that we can feel free to actually tell the people around us, I'm on my period, and everybody will then know that that means that I am in receiving mode, and that's and everybody have respect and cherish that amazing time of the month. and everybody understand it as a special time to allow that woman to really do what she does best, receive and indulge and be a complete goddess. I know a lot of men out there do not understand what some women go through. They just don't understand it, and perhaps they find it hard to be compassionate and empathetic because around that time of the month, conflict seems to occur and they have to deal with the fact that we are not quite ourselves, and they probably find that quite difficult. I can appreciate that it is really difficult for guys. I can appreciate that. But it's more difficult because we haven't set the standards. We haven't set the bar of what we require around those times of the month. This should be something that is like compulsory and that everybody should know and respect and not resent. And around this time, I really feel it's the best time to just relax a bit, indulge a bit, be nice to yourself, and just try and be really, 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 really healthy. Take supplements like your B vitamins, take magnesium, have baths with magnesium salts in, and massage with oils like lovely lush oils, and you know, just be nice to yourself, and maybe go and treat yourself to a facial or a manicure, and just let the blood flow. Take herbs that are going to help your blood to flow and not be clotted, and take herbs that are going to help balance your hormones, not just suppress symptoms. And you know, do things that are going to make you feel good. Get outside in nature. Use your period as a reason to indulge in being female. If more and more and more of us start setting this standard within our lives, only we can do this with ourselves. So if we start setting that standard within our own lives, more and more people do that, it's going to become part of the collective consciousness. And it's just going to be a given that if a woman is on her period, she gets treated like a goddess. Because that's what we are. Anyway, this is just my view on it. And there was a woman, I can't remember her name. I was watching a talk on TED, I believe, the channel TED. And she does this whole thing about, you know, how you can use your cycle to your advantage, and the times of the month that it's good to be social, the times of the month it's good to make business decisions, the times of the month where you're more magnetic to other people, the times of the month where it's time to relax or do certain exercises. It was amazing. I will try and find the link and put it below. I feel that this woman has got a lot of knowledge about what I'm talking about, and this is something which I'm really getting into now, and I'm going to do a lot of more research. To all the men out there that resent this fact, and to all the women that resent themselves for having periods and having PMS and issues that go with periods, then really it's time to let go of your resentment. Just let it all go and start embracing this miracle. We have been built to reproduce, and it's the most beautiful thing in the world that we get periods, because that's what enables us to reproduce. So there really needs to be an element of respect and understanding of this time on both parts, from men and from women. And right now there's been a lot, you know, it's the whole masculine energy has been sort of ruling the world, and now it's time to balance that out and really start bringing in the more feminine side. And as a woman, just please respect and cherish that time of the month. If you struggle at that time of the month, don't kick yourself, don't dislike yourself. Do things that are going to help you at that time of the month. The reason you're struggling is because you're resisting, you're in resistance to it. So you're going to cause more pain. Anything that you're resisting, it persists. If you resist, it persists. So let go and just flow with it. Allow it, embrace it. Let other people know that that's what you're going through. Let other people know what problems you have so that they can be understanding and compassionate. Tell your partner when you are going to have your periods from now on. It is the time where he sorts some things out for you, and it is your time to receive. So I really hope that some people take this on board. It's not a feminist thing at all. I'm not a feminist at all. I am embracing being female, and I'm trying to help people find a balance in their lives and to just embrace what they are. If you're female, unless you're going to have a sex change, you are female, and unless you've got some disease or hormonal imbalance that prevents you from having periods, then you are going to be having periods, and this is part of your life. You can either resist it and resent it, or you can cherish it and embrace it and use it as something positive and a time to give something back to yourself and a time to receive things from others. If you get in that mindset, other people will get in that mindset. That will be the standard that we set, and that will be just a given. That's what happens. So I really like the Ayurvedic tradition, as you can tell, and I'm going to try and bring a little bit of Ayurveda into my life when it comes to my period. So I hope this helps you ladies out there. If you want to connect with me, then you can add me as a friend on Facebook and message me on there. I'll put the link below, and I'll put a link to my website where you can see what services I offer. I would love to connect with you. If you want a consultation, then drop me an email and I'm sure we can arrange something. All right, well, have a healthy day. Namaste.